The Thermodynamics of Rad Energy, a cinematic continuum of Keanu and Swayze. It is widely accepted in the scientific community, or at least among those attuned to the subtle vibrations of rad energy, that Patrick Swayze's portrayal of Bodhi in Point Break is not an isolated character, but the final evolutionary form of two preceding incarnations, Johnny Castle and Dalton. Similarly, it is no stretch for the tuned-in viewer to perceive that Johnny Utah undergoes a metaphysical transformation that ultimately culminates in the existence of John Wick. These arcs are not merely examples of typecasting or thematic recycling. They are evidence of a greater cosmic law at work. This law is the first law of thermodynamics, which tells us that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred or transformed. When we consider the radical spiritual, physical, and philosophical energy embodied by these characters, we begin to understand that what we are witnessing is not storytelling in the traditional sense. It is energetic transference across time, genre, and cosmic dimensions. Let's break it down. From Johnny Castle to Bodhi, the ascent of Swayze. Johnny Castle was a working-class dance instructor with a deep moral code, a rebellious streak, and an awareness that beauty and freedom must be defended, especially when they're found in unexpected places, like the Catskills in 1963. He introduced Baby to the idea that rules are often lies we tell ourselves to avoid feeling. This energy, grace in defiance, carried into Dalton, the cool-headed bouncer philosopher of Roadhouse, who studied Tai Chi at dawn and quoted The Art of War while dismantling corruption with his bare hands. But these were only prototypes. Bodhi is the apotheosis. He's not just a surfer, not just a bank robber. He is the manifestation of radical freedom. He seeks the perfect wave not as a thrill, but as a sacrament. He pushes Utah, and by extension all of us, toward a confrontation with the self. Castle danced to save a summer. Dalton fought to save a town. But Bodhi surfs to transcend time itself. From Johnny Utah to John Wick, the descent and reckoning of Keanu. Johnny Utah is a former college football star turned FBI agent. At first, he believes in rules, in justice, in order. But Bodhi cracks something in him. He begins to see that the systems he serves are crumbling illusions. By the end of Point Break, Utah throws his badge into the ocean. Not as a rejection of duty, but as a recognition that some truths lie beyond the law. Fast forward to John Wick, a man pulled back into a world of violence, bound by the codes and currencies of a criminal underworld, yet acting with a mythic sense of justice. The death of his dog, a gift from his late wife, becomes the symbolic ignition point. He will avenge the last shred of innocence in his world. This is the same moral crisis Utah began, only fully realized. Wick is the shadow of Utah, the revenge of someone who tried to walk away but found the world would not let him. If Utah is a wave crashing into the shore, Wick is the riptide pulling you under. In Point Break, we see two characters meet at the edge of their own human experience, and at that moment, through skydiving, surfing, fighting and chasing, they enact the greatest documented transfer of rad energy in known cinematic history. Swayze and Reeves don't just play opposite roles, they orbit each other like twin stars. The release of Point Break in 1991 was not just a cinematic event, it was a seismic, energetic recalibration. The world changed. The VHS copy of this film acted as a relic, a conduit through which rad energy could be absorbed and passed on. Fans didn't just watch this movie, they aligned with it. Surf shops, skate culture, spiritual seeking, extreme sports, moral relativism, these all surged in the wake of this cosmic ripple. What we are seeing is not just characters evolving, we are seeing an energetic conservation on a mythological scale. Castle and Dalton could not stay, they were too grounded. Bodhi rose, Utah could not go back. He was changed, Wick emerged. Conclusion, rad energy obeys the laws of the universe. We tend to separate fiction from science, cinema from philosophy, but Point Break is the great unifier. It shows us that rad energy is not frivolous. It is elemental. It adheres to the first law of thermodynamics. It cannot be created or destroyed. It only moves into the next wave, the next fight, the next life. So the next time someone asks why Bodhi feels like a prophet, or why John Wick seems like the echo of a lost soul in a tailored suit, tell them, because energy always finds its way.